Hey Triad, got plumbing problems? Call the pros at Cardinal Plumbing and Drain Services. Clogged drain? No hot water? Leak driving you crazy? Cardinal's got you covered with expert drain cleaning, water heater repair, sewer services, and more, all from a licensed and insured local team that you can trust. They're family-owned, fast, and reliable with straightforward pricing and top-tier service every time. Don't wait. Call 336-848-9499 or visit call-cardinal.com right now. When your pipes say no, Cardinal says go. Cardinal Plumbing and Drain Services, Kernersville's call for quality.
Kernersville, it's game on. Your new home for cold beer, killer food, and every game that matters. Check out the menu with everything from Wagyu burgers to loaded hot dogs, crispy buffalo wings, and signature sauces. Take in every NFL, NBA, college, and primetime sports matchup on massive screens, plus cornhole, DJ parties, karaoke nights, and a huge selection of arcade games. Bring your crew, bring your A game, bring your hunger. Game On Brew Pub, 727 East Mountain Street in Kernersville.
Hey family, this is Sabrina Wingo from Taste of the Triad, right here in Winston-Salem. When you walk through our doors, you're stepping into a place where Southern hospitality meets the best soul food in the Triad. We serve up a wide variety of options every single day in our cafeteria-style setting, from crispy fried chicken, incredible ribs, tender collard greens, to creamy mac and cheese, fresh vegetables, homemade desserts, and sweet cornbread just like Grandma used to make. Whether you're craving classic comfort food or exploring our daily specials, there is always something to make your taste buds dance. And now you can enjoy the taste of the Triad from the comfort of your home. We're on DoorDash. This means our hot home-style meals are just a few taps away. So come see us in person or order online and find out why we're called the best soul food in the Triad. Taste of the Triad, where you can have Sunday dinner anytime. Our address is 4320 Old Walkertown Road in Winston-Salem.
This is Con Knipple from the Charlotte Hornets, and you're listening to Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for live sports in the Triad.
This should be played at high volume.
Oh my gosh. Hey everybody, it's me. I'm back. It's kinda, sorta, and the dog is howling. Stella Mae Griffinsky, the grumpy English bulldog, she heard those voices on the introduction and the dog went ballistic. So, all right. That's just funny. Anyway, Desmond, thanks for the invitation, and happy and proud and delighted to be a part of Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Folks, will be here every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday at 1 p.m. for an hour or so. We're going to explore everything between Manio and Murphy, all the people, all the places, all the adventures, all the opportunities, all the memories that are waiting to be made. And along the way, we'll talk about the big news stories of the day, and we'll probably make fun of some of the people that have made poor life choices. And there's no end to that, is there? No. There's no end to that. So you can find us at Tobacco Road Sports Radio and on YouTube at Tobacco Road Sports Radio. So this is, do you like the mood lighting for today? It looks like the it sun is like
you're setting
my
a
immediate left, right?
You're kind of setting a mood there going on. I like it.
Here, let's be real honest and totally transparent. Not like some folks. We set up today and looked, and I was expecting a narrow video feed. And I mean, the entire kitchen, the hallway, the living room, laundry piled up on the couch, my drink cup from last night. I went, no. So I've got some sort of configuration of a stepladder and lacrosse sticks draped behind me. Oh my gosh. Anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. We're going to get it all figured out. And then, Desmond joined in and he said, do you have any lights? And I do, but they're behind the curtain. So we had to throw back the window curtain, and now so we have mood lighting. But thanks for being here. Welcome to Carolina Times, and it's not just going to be Winston-Salem. It's not just going to be High Point and Greensboro and all of the nooks and crannies in between. It is all of our friends to the west, all of our friends to the east, and throughout the Piedmont Triad. And occasionally, we may even delve into our neighbors to the south, into that other Carolina, and to our sophisticated friends to the north in the great state of Virginia. So we're going to talk a little bit about everything. You got a conversation piece, something on your heart, something on your mind, something deep within your soul that you'd like to talk about? Why don't you join the conversation? If it's not on the schedule for today, it can be there for the next time. Again, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. And then you're not excused. You don't get to go anywhere because it's The Drive with Will Dalton coming up at 2 o'clock. So look forward to that. You get not one, but twice as much fun, double whammy, as it were. Now, this is not going to be a recurrent theme, but a lot of folks go, I hear Jeffrey talking and he seems like a sweet boy, but I just don't know a lot about him. So we thought we'd address that today. And so I'll tell you a little bit about the Jeffrey story. Who is Jeffrey? Well, my grandparents were Blanche and Barney Poole in Thomasville, North Carolina. My grandfather grew up on a farm in the Sandhills with, I believe it was 5 brothers and 3 sisters. And eventually he grew up and said, I'm coming to town. They ran a mill there on the farm. And he went to Thomasville and started working there and fell in love with Blanche, and they got married. And my grandmother ran a boarding house on College Street in Thomasville. So I love the Cherry City. I'm a big fan of the Bulldogs. That home no longer stands. But my mother's told the story many times. They bought that house for $4,500, and they said that Blanche paid $1,500, Barney paid $1,500, and Margaret paid $1,500, and the 3 of them owned that home together. And so that's where my mother grew up. She went to Thomasville High School. Her name is engraved at the base of the flagpole at old Thomasville High. That's when the student council had that flagpole installed of the class of 1964. And if you go and look to this day, Margaret Poole's engraved because she was one of the class officers. So have deep ties and affection to the Bulldog faithful. Then my mother went to North Carolina Wesleyan in Rocky Mount, was in the class of 68, and that's where she met my father, Richard. I don't talk a lot about him, but as part of the record. So Richard and Margaret were married, and then I arrived on the scene, and I grew up in Winston-Salem, and eventually met Vicky, and that's now Mrs. Griffin. And so Vicky Jenkins was how she was known in her crime fighting days before she got tangled up with me and we exchanged rings. And a lot of folks think that's a deeply romantic story. Truth is, at our wedding, they said, you want to? And we said, yeah. And when I proposed on a fall day, I went down on one knee and I said, Vicky, would you like to be buried with my people? And she said, yeah. And so here we are. A few years after that, Sophia arrived on the scene. Sophia is now 16. I think that's right. I guess that's right. Sophia, are you 16? 7. Oh, I'm sorry. She's 17. Oh, my apologies. I lose track. I see her all the time. So anyway, all right. She's 17. There you go. She will be a junior at Reagan High School in Pfafftown. I know it's Pufftown, but I like Pfafftown better. And Sophia does quite well. Classroom stuff, and she's just a fantastic student. And she plays field hockey and lacrosse. And her younger brother, her bouncing baby brother, who is just shooting up like a weed and ridiculously tall. I think he may be 6'4", 6'5" by now. Miles Roswell Christian Griffin is 15, and he will be in the 10th grade at Reagan High School. And Miles last year played football and lacrosse with the Raiders. This year he's thinking about, well, he's going to resume football. He's a tight end, or an H-back as they call it, and he's a defender on lacrosse. He's thinking about returning to his first love, which was basketball as well. And Miles also does incredibly well in the classroom. So we're just fortunate and gifted. We do not have problem children. If they were, they wouldn't sleep inside. So it's really one of those. Anyhow, Is that right? Okay, I'm just looking at the time. So they do quite well, and they're also very artistic. Both speak well, both play piano and handbells, and they both sing just lovely. And they come by music quite naturally. It's a musical family from both sides, from my side and Vicky's side. So there you go. But that's enough about them. We can love on them later. Back to Jeffrey. I went to Old Town Elementary. Chancellor Brown was the principal. I gotta tell you, I was not really all that enamored with Old Town Elementary. I struggled through elementary school. Just it was not a warm and cozy kind of thing for me. But I did go to Old Richmond Elementary School 1 year because my mom only had a part-time job, their teaching job, so she got assigned an elementary school. So she was at Old Richmond. I went to Old Richmond. And Old Richmond was like going to school at Disney World. My teacher was the National Teacher of the Year that I had her. Just a delightful. Kay Gambrell was the principal. Kay Gambrell took those big old cans when they still cooked in the cafeteria at school. Those big old cans, green beans and peaches and whatever that come in them. And she took those cans and wrapped them with contact paper. And on the weekends, she would go out and pick wildflowers. And then she would put water in those cans with the wildflowers, and the halls of Old Richmond Elementary were lined with cans of wildflowers. And that's how you walked to class. And every moment thereafter was equally as magical. It was an extraordinary experience. So great memories of Old Richmond Elementary. Then I went to Northwest Junior High. Junior high was horrible. Did anybody have a good middle school experience? I did not. The junior high was just terrible, wretched. I didn't like it at all. It wasn't a knock on the teachers. I just didn't like it. And a lot of kids struggle through junior high. I was one of them. Broke my arm. So when I fell behind in math, I never recovered. So, there's all that good stuff. George Green was the principal. George Green was about 9 feet tall and 800 pounds, just with the biggest, most intimidating men that I'd ever seen. And he would stand out there at the bus ramp, and he would chastise young people as we walked into the school. Young people, do not lollygag, don't waddle in the halls there. Let's move along expeditiously. If you ever saw Joe Clark with Morgan Freeman, it's kind of that sense of. Anyway, I love George Green. He was a wonderful human being. And then I got to the place that I most wanted to be at North Forsyth High School. That was the school where my mother taught. I loved North. I loved Mr. Gibson's school. I knew those teachers. They were like family. And I couldn't wait to grow up and go to North Forsyth High School. That was just the end-all, be-all for me. And, of course, Mr. Gibson retired the year before I got to North Forsyth. That was the year that they moved all the high schools to the 4-year plan. But I still went, and I still knew those teachers, and I loved them dearly. And every day at North Forsyth was extraordinarily wonderful and magical. And once a Viking, always a Viking. And I treasured every moment there. Those were the halls where I grew up. And that's how I learned how to be a person. And I didn't have a lot of friends my own age. My friends were always high schoolers, even from the time I was in elementary school. So I loved that. Then, of course, I went to Mars Hill College. That was a disaster. Not on them, on me. I was one of those kids that went to college and went crazy. Just made all kinds of poor choices. That did not go well. Let's not talk about that. So I came home, didn't do much for a while. Ended up at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts. I auditioned for the theater program and promptly got rejected. Again, have a little bit of grace. It was the worst audition ever. You ever have one of those auditions? About 30 seconds into it, you realize this couldn't be any worse. Just how bad can you be? That was my audition for School of the Arts. I said, forget that. I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. Somebody said, Jeffrey, they do music too. And I'd always liked to sing. And so I went back and auditioned for School of the Arts that same year in music and was accepted into the opera program, where I studied with William Beck, who passed away recently. And William Beck was the leading baritone at New York City Opera for 11 years. If you go and you look at Beverly Sills, the soprano, Bill Beck was the baritone opposite Beverly Sills soprano. And I loved Bill Beck. We were two peas in a pod. And that was really just, again, what an opportunity to study with someone that talented and every day. Bill and I got along fabulously. Then Bill retired, and I studied with Jamie Albritton, who's recently stepped away from Piedmont Opera Theater, but still does stuff at School of the Arts, is a magnificent musician as well. So that's it. I got really sick my junior year at School of the Arts, as in unconscious in the parking lot on Halloween, really sick at School of the Arts, and found out, ended up in the hospital for quite a while. Then didn't go back to school. Well, it was a poor decision on my part. I ended up finishing at Forsyth Tech, going doing a few classes at a time. And so that's where I was. Now, along the way, I had the opportunity to attend North Carolina Governor's School. I went in theater. I was at Salem College. I think now it is elsewhere, maybe at Meredith and somewhere else. Or maybe it's a High Point and Meredith. I think there's one in the east and one in the west. But again, Governor's School was phenomenal. If you're a kid, or if you are a kid and you have the opportunity to go to Governor's School, go. You study psychology, you study philosophy, and you study your major. Mine was theater. And then also, it would be egregiously inappropriate for me to fail to mention the summer enrichment program, which is where I spent almost every summer of my life. And it's that program, well, the alumni for that program, you have Academy Award winners, Oscar winners, Tony winners, nominees, teachers, producers, working professionals. It is a literal who's who in the arts world, not just in North Carolina, but in the world. So many notable folks have been a part of that program. And that's where I grew up. And, some things are as easy as, that's not how you stand on stage. Put your hand on your other hip. We don't want to see your behind. We want to see your face. Those are fundamental things that kids don't necessarily know how to do. And you learn how to sing, you learn how to dance, and you learn how to speak, you learn how to be on stage. More importantly, you learn how to work together. You learn how to be a part of something that is bigger than yourself. You learn how to tell the story. You learn how to be gracious. You learn how to get along. You learn how to build lifetime friendships. And the summer enrichment program, for me, is probably one of the finest summer theater performance opportunities for a young person, 6th grade through 11th grade in the United States. My mother directed, and I'm a little bit biased, my mother directed that program for about 30 years. Gretchen Hall was the choreographer. Larry Herrick was the designer. And Larry was the best man at my wedding. So if that tells you, I'm invested with that program and those people. We started with the Rayner twins, did the music. Terry Hicks did the music for a long time. Just a plethora of who's who in the arts community have been a part of the summer enrichment program. If your kid has the chance to go and be a part of that, I couldn't more strongly support that. So then back to the here and now. Stella May is somewhere around here. She hears voices. Stella May typically has a temper tantrum. If I'm on the cell phone, she does not like electronic devices. She hears voices and she doesn't see the person. She goes off the deep end. Stella May is a English bulldog, weighs about 1,000 pounds, and she has 722 names, and she answers to none of them. We call her Stella May Griffinski. We call her Gigantor. We call her Mrs. Waddlebottoms. We call her Biggles. We call her Notorious Triple X. We call her DJ Wide Load. And my personal favorite is Thunderbutt. So she sleeps about 20 hours a day, and she is grumpy, and she is not meant to be outside. She'll go outside for 60 seconds at a time. Last year, we took Stella May to the beach. We thought that was a good idea. Turns out it was a terrible idea. Stella May almost died on the sand. I picked her up, all 100 pounds of her, and carried her to the shower right there at the public access at the beach, and just put her in the shower and tried to cool her off, and then carried her onto the car. And we had to sit in the car with her. The rest of the family is out at the beach. I sat in the car with her in the air conditioning, trying to nurse her back to consciousness. And after that, we said, Stella is not a beach dog. Actually, she's not really a mountain dog either. She likes home, and she likes us. And no offense to the rest of the world, but she doesn't like much anybody else. Oh, and today's shirt. This is that's my son out there. I don't know if you can see it. It's a football shirt that Miles gave me, and so I'm getting ready for it. Sophia started today. Tryouts began for the field hockey program at Reagan, and Miles has tryouts for football later this week. So school's not officially in session, but we are up and raring to go. And as for me and Vicky, we are happily incompatible. If I say we should go with red, Vicky will say we should go with blue. And somehow we find common ground. And we really like each other and we respect each other and we love each other. And that's our family. And she calls me Big Sexy South. I call her Big Sexy North. And if you have other questions, chip on in anytime. Well, that'll do it. That's more than you ever wanted to know about Jeffrey Griffin. We just need to do away. That's enough. That's enough. We don't need to hear any more of that. Okay, my friends, there's Stella May in the background. I can hear her. There she goes. All right, we are going to take a break. When we come back, what happened over the weekend? We'll take a look at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got all the sports on the links, NASCAR, soccer, Tour de France, baseball. Oh, my gosh. And then we've got national, international, and state news. And one of the biggest events in the artistic world is happening in the Piedmont Triad this week. I'll give you the details on that as well. You're listening to Carolina Times with Jeffrey Griffin on Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Be back after this.
Blue Naples Pizzeria in Kernersville is now hiring. Come work for one of the best Italian restaurants in the Triad. Currently hiring dishwashers, cooks, front cashiers, and more. Great hours, great pay. Give them a call at 336-993-7707 or stop by and inquire at 1519 Union Cross Road in Kernersville. Start working this week. Blue Naples Pizza. Looking for a new do-it-all spot for everything automotive? Look no further than the Auto Store of NC. The Walnut Cove location offers everything you need from preventive maintenance, diagnostics, state inspections, brakes, AC service, oil changes, and much, much more. The Auto Store of NC sells tires now, and they also do car detailing. And of course, they are still selling the best used cars in the Triad. Come visit the Auto Store of NC, worth the drive at 216 South Main Street in Walnut Cove. Open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call to schedule an appointment today at 336-536-8322.
You don't need to get that personal. The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
When you want the real deal, call Susanna Nunn in Kernersville today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Welcome to Bobo's Deli and Grill in Winston-Salem, now featuring our brand new patio. Come enjoy the game day vibe or a relaxing meal outside on our newly renovated patio. At Bobo's, we serve more than just great food, we serve our neighbors. Quick, friendly service every time. And with football here, try our event catering. Whether it's game day, school events, or family celebrations, Bobo caters to any size group. Bobo's Deli and Grill, 3478 Robin Hood Road in Winston-Salem.
Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Triad Sports.
Whether you like it or don't like it, sit down and look at it because it's the best going today. Woo!
TobaccoRoadSportsRadio.com.
Everybody, it is Carolina Times with Jeffrey Griffin. Welcome back to Triad Sports Radio. You can find us online and on YouTube at triadsportsradio.com. It is time for our weekly episode of What Happened. Maybe you disappeared. Maybe you slept in all weekend. Maybe you missed a few things. Well, let's get you up to speed. We start in the sporting world on the PGA. It was the 3M Open from Blaine, Minnesota. And let's be real honest here. Some of these names, I got nothing. So if they're wrong, I apologize ahead of time. How about that? TPC Twin Cities was an $8.8 million purse. Jackson Coyven, God bless him. He went 25 under. By the way, I'm not going to tell it today. I have a hole-in-one on my resume, par 3 at Tanglewood.
Really? Okay.
It's a story that better than imagined. But other than that, at golf, I would go if they'd let me drive the cart. I don't really have any aspirations to play. But if they let me drive the cart, I think that'd be fabulous.
That sounds like a lot.
On to the ladies. They were in Scotland for the Women's Scottish Open. Jenny Shin won it at 9 under. She's a $2 million purse. She gets the winner's share. Brickyard 400 from the world of NASCAR at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. After 160 laps, Corey Heim, Christopher Bell, and Joey Logano are 1, 2, and 3. Major League Soccer. Now that the World Cup's all done and Spain's got the trophy and everybody's back home, now we're back to Major League Soccer. Charlotte FC, boy, they crawled over the finish line for the first half of the season going into the World Cup break. But now they're right back at it, back to their winning ways. They knock off New York Red Bulls over the weekend. That final 2-0. The Tour de France, you should not say Tour de France as I did earlier. It should be France. Again, I'm sure he's a lovely fella. He's from Slovenia. He took the lead after the 6th stage, Tadej Pogacar. Tadej. I don't know. Pogacar? He's a great fella. This is his 5th Tour de France title, and he's the 5th man to win it 5 times. If you didn't know, the Tour de France is 21 stages over 3 weeks. I don't drive that far, and they go on a bicycle. God bless them. I thought about giving you the scores from minor league baseball, and then I woke up. There's just too many teams.
A lot of teams. Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run down. I had no idea there were this many teams in North Carolina. What can I say to you? It's like Google. Look it up if you really want to know, okay? And the AAA, you got Charlotte Knights and the Durham Bulls. You really should. I've been to a Charlotte Knights game. It was fine. It was fun. We had a good time. We'd go. Never been to a Durham Bulls game, and I want to go. I just feel like that's a bucket list item. I think we should go. Then high single A, you got Asheville, Greensboro, and the Winston-Salem Dash. Single A, Fayetteville, Hickory, Canopolis. I know it's Kannapolis. Don't start. And Wilson. I didn't know Wilson had a team. The Wilson Warbirds. And if you throw in the independent and summer collegiate teams, you have the Wilmington Sharks, the Down East Bird Dogs, the Gastonia Ghost Peppers, and the Rockers in High Point. So it's all great. What is that? 4, 8, 10, 13 minor league teams in North Carolina? Good. Find one that you like. Find one that you like. And God bless them. All right. I still think if they limit it to 2 strikes for each batter and 2 outs and 7 innings, baseball would be a lot more efficient. Just saying. Baseball people can't tell time. They go out there and stay 4 hours. This is fun. We can sell more peanuts. No, stop that mess. Now, I also thought about going over the local racing, local being North Carolina. Now, my list may be incomplete. I reached out to Alec Hodges. Alec knows everything. So I said, Alec, did I miss any of the tracks? He said, probably. But we're going to go with this. There's Ace Speedway in Elon, right? Bowman Gray in Winston, been there, best people watching on the planet. Caraway, which is in Sophia. Carolina Speedway in Gastonia. East Lincoln in Stanley. Hickory Motor Speedway, which is in Newton. North Wilkesboro, which is rightfully in North Wilkesboro. I mean, really, where else would it be? Orange County Speedway in I don't know where. Rougemont, Rockingham's in Rockingham, and Tri-County Speedway. There you go. And, of course, Charlotte Motor Speedway, the mothership. Find a track that you like. Sadly, I've only been to one of those. Shame on me. I know. Shame on me. Vicky, we got to do better. We got to go to more of those tracks. Major League Baseball. Oh, my gosh. Here we go. I'm not anti-baseball. I'm anti that they play 984 games a year. That's what I'm anti. In the American League, in the East, the Rays lead the way. The Yankees are 3 back. The Red Sox 7.5 out. The O's 11.5 off the pace. The Blue Jays they're 14.5 out. In the Central, the White Sox sit in the top spot. Guardians are still in it to win it. They're only 2.5 off the pace. The Twins are 3.5 back. The Tigers are 6 out. And Kansas City 11.5 out. That's probably the most competitive division in Major League Baseball. And now the American League, you can make this argument too. In the West, The Rangers in the top spot. The Mariners 1.5 out. Astros 2 back. The A's are only 9 out, and the Angels are 11.5 back. You could. That's a competitive one too. On to the National League in the East. The Braves lead the way. The Phillies are 5.5 out. The Nats 8.5 off. The Marlins 10.5 back. The Mets are playing for next year. They are 18.5 games out. In the Central, the Cubs are 7 games behind the Brew Crew. The Pirates are 12.5 out. The Cards 13 back. The Reds are 16.5 out. That's really Milwaukee's to lose, isn't it? And out west, woo! Now, again, my grandmother always said that there were 2 teams in baseball. There were the Dodgers, and we were for the Dodgers, and then there were the Yankees, and we were not for the Yankees. Now, why Blanche felt that way, I have no idea. But I've always been for the Dodgers because that's what my nanny told me. So out west, the Dodgers are playing hide and seek with the rest of the division. They are 12 games in front of the D-backs. The Padres are 14 out. The Giants are 22.5 out. And the Rockies, 25.5 games out. Aren't they mathematically eliminated? It feels like they should be. What else happened over the weekend? This is not funny, not games. 3 people killed, 4 injured in a mass shooting at the Bite of Seattle Food Festival. Police have arrested 1 suspect and are searching for another. A toddler, 2 years old, was among the victims. As I understand it, he is in the hospital in stable condition with a gunshot wound. Anybody want to have that argument about how we need more guns? Well, Jeffrey, just jump in it with both feet. Why don't you? Right there. Just go ahead. All right, here we go. Okay. After 13 nights of strikes, the U.S. and Iran have halted hostilities temporarily to create space for negotiations. As a result, oil prices fell as markets reacted to the pause, but tensions, everybody's on edge, right? Everybody's on edge. France and Spain and the U.S., parts of the U.S., battling extreme wildfires fueled by record heat. That's why we are collectively not complaining about the rain in the Piedmont Triad over the last week. Let's be grateful, right? We can deal with a little bit of mud, okay? But if it lessens the possibility of wildfires, then let's be for that. Thousands have been forced to evacuate. Fires are threatening major cities like Bordeaux and Madrid. So keep a good thought for those folks as well. Authorities warned of new blazes as the heat wave continues. And of course, the Pride attack in Berlin, Germany. A man drove a minivan into a crowd during the Pride parade, killed 1 person, injured at least 17. Then he was confronted by law enforcement later, and police shot the bad guy dead. German officials are today calling for tighter laws regarding extremism. No matter how you feel, we're not going to rejoice in people being injured and shot and put in harm's way and loss of life and property. It just is, that tears on the soul. Some other developments from around the world. In Nigeria, at least 30 individuals killed in a village attack over the weekend. In France, police arrested a man after he attacked 3 separate women in knife attacks in Paris. What? People, crazy. I was told not to say that at one point in my career. Jeffrey, you can't call people crazy. He's crazy. Mean and crazy. How about that? In South Korea, the court sentences the former president, Yoon Suk Yeol, my apologies, to 18 months in the Huskow, suspended for 3 years over violations of election law. Well, who would have thunk that? Who would ever dare to question election laws? Really? Collective eye rolls. Don't start.
Yeah.
In North Korea, Kim Jong-un, there's a well-balanced fellow for you, marked the 73rd anniversary of the Korean War armistice with his daughter for the first time. Well, okay. I hope that went well. And if you missed it, the White House Correspondents' Dinner happened over the weekend.
I was wondering if you were going to touch on this.
Bless my heart. if you don't know, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, all the media and typically the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, and the attends, and the president speaks. Now, there was one year when Laura Bush spoke on behalf of President George Bush, and actually the first lady was really funny. She was funny. She talked about how she made fun of him for not being able to say nuclear, and how he wouldn't stay up late. And she just railed on the whole Bush family. It was an epic speech. She got big points for that. And George Bush sat there and laughed. It was all in good humor. They make fun of the media, and you make fun of yourself. President Obama had some legendary speeches at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I mean,
those were really good. Yeah, they were really funny.
They were funny. Ronald Reagan, who's about as Republican as you can get, right? I mean, in the span of history, he used to sit and laugh at it, and they would make fun of him. I think Don Rickles just tore him up one night at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. There's just no mercy whatsoever. Well, that brings us to this weekend. President Trump attended, and I'll leave it at this. The content did not hit funny.
Do you think he was doing that on purpose? Like he knew the audience, or do you think he actually was intending to be funny and failed? Because I think it's the second out of the two.
I think he wanted to be funny. And he even blamed the speechwriters when the jokes were continuing to land with a thud.
Like mid-speech.
Yeah. He said, well, this is terrible. This terrible speech that they gave. I can't do Trump. So, but y'all, so as he is prone to do, when the speech was not particularly well received, he just reverted to his bread and butter. He began to make fun of people. There were professional attacks on award winners, and then there were personal attacks based on people's appearance. And so the room, there were a few laughs in the early going moments of his speech, some gratuitous laughter. We're going to be polite, right? And finally, the room just fell silent. And it was awkward, and it was uncomfortable, and there was no laughter.
You were talking about middle school and stuff earlier in the show. Mm-hmm. I think the president has a crush on Caitlin Collins. I really do. I think he has a crush on Caitlin Collins. Like
she brought home one of the big awards at the dinner for her coverage, and she is often the ire. She gets the ire of in the press room there, and the president, and he calls her by name. He calls her out. And at the Correspondents' Dinner, it was more of the, you're not smiling, you should smile. But it wasn't the friendly kind of, if you might look at your life partner and go, darling, come on, we're going to have a good time. Smile. Come on, let's go have a good time. It wasn't that. It was a confrontational, adversarial.
Like a command. Yeah.
Yes.
Smile more.
So it was the entire dinner was uncomfortable. And now folks have broached the question is, should the reporters and those with whom they are tasked covering, should they be asked to be in the same room? And I don't know. I think you still can. You can find some common ground. You can find some communal joy. You can find a way. We've all done stupid things. We've always said things that we regret and made mistakes, and we ought to be able to sit there and laugh about that without being confrontational or mean-spirited or hurtful. But the other thing that I really wanted to get to over the weekend is now we are into the International Black Theater Festival. It runs today through August 1st. It is one of the premier theater gatherings in the world. More than 100 performances, a star-studded gala. There are workshops, there are panel discussions, screenings of films. There are numerous special events. There are theatrical late-night experiences across multiple venues and stages. Tonight, Felicia Rashad will receive the Sidney Poitier Lifetime Achievement Award. This is holy ground. The best and the brightest and most talented and most artistic and most creative theater souls in the world gather in Winston-Salem every other year to celebrate the International Black Theater Festival. There's a market, there are venues, there are volunteer opportunities. If you would like to see some of the finest theater this side of Broadway, folks, this is world class, and I encourage you to be a part of it. Angela Robinson is one of the celebrity co-chairs this year, and I'll leave you with her words before we go into a break and get ready for Booked with Holly Hayes. Angela Robinson had to say, what we are doing is a holy act. Theater changes lives. And so when you say holy ground, really understand that the work we're doing is work. That is vital. It's important. It matters. And for all of us in North Carolina, and for all of us in the Piedmont Triad, and for all of us at Carolina Times and Tobacco Road Sports Radio, thank you for coming here and sharing your creativity, your honesty, your vulnerability, and your talent, and your hope for how good we can all be when we come together. And for being a part of the International Black Theater Festival, it is a privilege to welcome you to our hometown. So it is time for our last break of the big show. I'm going to get out of the way and
before you do that, Jeff, I just wanted to put this up on the screen. Sure. Someone we both know, Brett Wiseman, who was your first producer on Triad Today over at WSJS. He wrote down as JG's first producer on Triad Today when I still had my show with Dez on Tobacco Road Sports Radio. Seeing this is a wild full circle moment, and I'm so here for it. Great duo. So I want to get that out there from Brett, who's doing well up in Virginia, going viral, calling minor league hockey and everything. He started off over here on Tobacco Road. He's one of the first play-by-play guys that I had that was calling high school football for me, and just kept giving him opportunities. And then he got an opportunity with you, and now look at him. So it's like watching a little bird kind of
emerge and Brett was in my class at Career Center, was in my broadcasting class. And so Brett and I have spent many hours, I think 180 hours times two, because Brett and I were together, I think, for a couple of years, and then, of course, at Triad Today as well. So, good fella. And Brett, thanks for being here. All right, and congratulations. Well done. I didn't know he was calling games in Virginia. That means we have to go and harass him from the stands.
Yeah, he's up Blue Ridge Bobcats. Yeah, he's the play-by-play guy for them up there. And
we have to take a field trip to Blue Ridge.
He went viral last year on ESPN for a call. There was a goalie fight or something. And, Brett, goalie fight. And so look it up online. It's online somewhere.
We'll take a van or a bus, and we'll go and we'll harass Brett from the stands. That'll be fun. We can all go together. All right. We are going to take another break. When we come back, it is booked. What's booked? Well, we're going to have conversation with Holly Hayes about her new book, Summer Setlist. That's next on Carolina Times on Triad or Tobacco Road Sports Radio.
You are locked into Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Triad Sports.
And you know this, man.
Kernersville, it's game on. Your new home for cold beer, killer food, and every game that matters. Check out the menu with everything from Wagyu burgers to loaded hot dogs, crispy buffalo wings, and signature sauces. Take in every NFL, NBA, college, and primetime sports matchup on massive screens, plus cornhole, DJ parties, karaoke nights, and a huge selection of arcade games. Bring your crew, bring your A-game, bring your hunger. Game On Brew Pub, 727 East Mountain Street in Kernersville.
You don't need to get that personal. The State Farm Personal Price Plan helps you create an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
When you want the real deal, call Susanna Nunn in Kernersville today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Looking to buy or sell a home in the Triad area? Meet Nikki Rottweiler of Head Realty Group at eXp Realty, a local pro with over 6 years of experience serving Winston-Salem and beyond. Need a fast turnaround? Nikki is your go-to. Just ask her clients. She closes deals quickly without cutting corners. From Kernersville to Rural Hall, her expertise is in the Triad market shines. And she's more than your agent. Nikki is a proud supporter of local high school athletics, cheering on your local teams and backing your community all the way. Want service with speed, insight, and hometown heart? Call Nikki Rottweiler with Head Realty Group at eXp Realty today, 336-448-9309, and let her open the door to your next home.
I'm Sam Farber, radio play-by-play broadcaster for the Charlotte Hornets, and you're listening to Tobacco Road Sports Radio, your home for Charlotte Hornets basketball in the Triad.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Carolina Times with me, Jeffrey Griffin, on Tobacco Road Sports Radio. It is time for the first ever edition of Booked with Holly Hayes. Holly's new book is Summer Setlist from our friends at Warren Publishing. And Holly, first of all, we don't like you because you live down on the Intercoastal Waterway with those beautiful sunsets. You're just trying to make us all jealous, aren't you?
I know. It's amazing.
What a rough life. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, we have no pity for you whatsoever. We can see you. Yes, right there with the water in the background. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
You have seafood every night for dinner?
Not every night.
No, you should. How about that?
I know.
We'll go with that. All right. So, Holly, debut novelist, right? Summer Setlist. Were you always a storyteller? You always a writer? What would make any reasonable soul go, ooh, yeah, I think writing a novel is a good idea?
I have. This is actually my 7th book, but the only one that I thought was worth publishing. So
fair enough.
Worked with the people at Warren. They were amazing, have been amazing. And yeah, it just kind of took on a life of its own, and I'm happy with it.
So now, one of the things I love is you talk about, we found out you were going to be on the big show, so we were stalking you a little bit. Your first concert was Billy Joel. Is that right?
That's right. Kind of telling my age there a little bit.
Now, listen, I got to tell you, Holly, I did not grow up going to concerts. It was a church music, opera, musical theater. So the whole concert realm was a foreign entity to me. And then I got married. And my wife loves Journey, and she is just Journey. Every time a Journey song comes to the radio, her hair starts to get bigger. So I got Journey tickets for Christmas one year, and so we go. And I don't know what I expected. We go, and I'd never been to a rock concert before. Mm-hmm. And the first thing was when there was that line going into the arena, or to the venue rather, and I said, "What is the delay here?" And my wife goes, "Jeffrey, they're paying to park." I said, "Paying to park?" She goes, "Yeah." I said, "No, we have tickets." She goes, "No, honey, you have to pay to park." That tells you what a novice I was about the whole thing. And then I see people walking around with these beers. It looks like they're a yard tall, right?
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh, do people have beers at concerts? I'm not a beer guy." And Vicky again kind of chuckled, and she goes, "Honey, that's normal. You go." And so when I tell you, I had to learn all of the concert kind of way of life. This was new for me. And at one point, Billy Joel came to Winston-Salem a few years ago, and the people at Wake Forest University go, "Would you like to announce for Billy Joel?" And I went, "Announce?" They said, "Yeah, we need for you to be in the booth if something happens, to kind of welcome him to the stage, and then just on call." And I said, "Well, can I bring my children?" And my children, like you, their first concert was sitting in the booth, listening and watching Billy Joel. And I saw that was your first one. I thought, see, now it's Sophia and Miles and Holly. That's the way to start a musical journey, isn't it?
Yeah, he was great. We were way up in the rafters. I was with some high school friends, but we really enjoyed it.
So is going to concerts with your husband now, is that just a part of life for y'all? Is that a thing y'all go do?
Yes, he actually, like your wife, really got me into it. And he's a big Dave Matthews Band fan. So Dave is in the book, and the Gorge in Washington State is in the book, which we've been to twice. So yeah, we like it a lot now.
That's cool. All right. So you go, you see, you kind of dig in the concerts and you like it and you go. And now all of a sudden, like, how do you, when you write a story, is it, you pull out a scrap of paper at the end of the day? Do you sit and write every day? Do you come up with the characters and then kind of fill in the journey, or do you have the story and then you add the people to it? What's your process? Talk us from beginning to end, because having that initial thought is a far cry from seeing it on the bookshelf, isn't it?
Absolutely. I am a big reader, have always been a big reader, and like the romance genre. So I had read a bunch of books, but there had never been a book about going to concerts and having that kind of be the backdrop to the book. So that was the start. And I picked the venues. I picked 11 iconic venues across the country, places that have something pretty special about them. And then my process was to go to our little library at Carolina Beach, and I would sit there and get my 2,000 or 4,000 word count in. And then I just started layering in. So the concerts weren't enough for a whole book. So then they have a book tour and they go on the book tour. And so just layering in the characters and just the different storylines. That was my process.
Now, do you tend to keep what you write, or do you come back to it and go, oh my gosh, that's terrible, and you just delete that whole chapter? What works best for you?
For me, it's best to keep most of what I've written. I'm a very spare writer. I don't like a lot of detail. I feel like I want the story to lead rather than the details. I think people can imagine things with a few precise, good, specific words rather than having to have a whole description laid out for them. So that's kind of my process.
So who do you trust when you write a chapter, or maybe you've got a part of the story? Do you give it to your husband? Is it a lifelong friend? Is it a college roommate? There's got to be, maybe it's the dog, maybe somebody that you sit and you go, am I on to something? Is it, I mean, because we're all biased when we write, right? We think it's all, that's the reason we wrote it. And so who is it that you trust to look at you and go, I'm digging this, I'm not feeling this so much? Talk us through that.
My husband, and he's very particular. He gave a lot of good advice. Once the full book came out and he started reading it, he said, oh, I have comments. And I said, well, the book is published now. And you should
That's funny. You can keep your comments to yourself. It's published now. All right. Okay.
Exactly. I said, please keep your comments till you finished it. And once he finished it, he said, oh, all of my questions were resolved. It was good.
So he was questioning, it's like, you forgot to resolve this, or there's something.
Yeah, I had a question about this.
Okay. Yeah. That's what you tell him. It's like, don't make me treat you like you're 10. Read the story.
Exactly.
Get on the end. I got it. Okay. So is there a book 2 on the horizon?
There is, yes.
Now, do we get an inside scoop here? Are we gonna, is this gonna continue in the musical realm?
Yes, it is. I'm taking a character from Summer Setlist, a character named Harley, and he begins a journey going to jazz bars around the world. So that's the short answer to that.
Look out now. Now you could, now you're at jazz bars around the world. Folks, if you would like to get your copy of Summer Setlist, it's available. All the regular places, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Warren Publishing. You can go into your favorite local bookstore and say, hey, Holly has come out with a new book. It's called Summer Setlist, and I want it, and they will get it for you. All right. Have you been to all of these venues that you reference in Summer Setlist?
I have not been to all of them, but I plan to.
Okay. Because, when we were in Nashville, it was just one of those things we thought we should go. You're within driving distance. We should go. And all of a sudden, when you're, and we weren't in Ryman, but we went to the Grand Ole Opry, and it was a sense of being reverent when you walked in, because it was such a landmark place, and all of the people that had been there before, and how many memories and how many melodies have been shared. It just kind of washes over your soul. I think if you can do that and get out of the way and let it come out, then you've got a story worth telling, don't you?
I totally agree. Yep.
All right, folks, Summer Setlist. Now, I got one more question before we let you go. Do you get up early? Do you go right on the beach? Do you have like a writing corner? Where do you go? And can you, some people, they like noise. Like they can go out and just sit at a coffee shop and write. That drives me up the wall. What works for you?
Really, the library, even the little kids playing in the background, all kind of, it's kind of soothing to me. So that's been my spot. I have a desk there that I like. Hopefully it's available for me. And that's where I like to write.
Sorry, well, I was hoping that maybe you'd say the beach and we could all come and go with you. You could write and we could just be on the beach, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, listen, if y'all want to go, Holly says everybody come on over. She didn't really, but I'm just you're good with that, right? We'll just drop in. They're down there at the beach. There's always room for everybody. Well, congratulations on Summer Setlist again. And and the dogs, right? You got dog Tex and Penny. Is that right?
That's right. Yep.
They are suspiciously quiet. Do you not let them do media interviews?
I gave them a big treat and put them outside before we started.
Oh no, Stella May, our bulldog, she's already had a coronary a couple times. So I thought we might introduce the dogs, but that'll have to be another day. Day. So congratulations. When the book 2 comes out, I don't know if that'll be 26 or 27. You got to come back and be with us again.
I'd love to. Thank you so much.
Summer Setlist, again, available all the regular spots, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Warren Publishing, or your favorite local bookstore. Holly Hayes, congratulations. We'll talk with you soon, my friend.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Folks, that is just about going to do it for Carolina Times. We're going to be here Wednesday at 1 p.m. That's right. We go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Wednesday at 1 p.m. for the next edition of Carolina Times, a whole new slate of guests, a whole new slate of topics, a whole new slate of adventures, everywhere from Manio to Murphy in the Old North State. Now, don't touch that dial. We got more coming up. Standing by, Will Dalton and The Drive. Don't you dare miss it. Thanks for being here. Tell your friends. I'm Jeffrey Griffin. I'll see you Wednesday at 1 o'clock for the next Carolina Times on Tobacco Road Sports Radio. You are loved. Bye.